If you've ever wondered why your bank account acts like a ghost, occasionally appearing, mostly disappearing, and almost never doing anything helpful, there's a decent chance the issue isn't catastrophic financial mistakes. It's not that you gambled your life savings away on meme coins or bought an alpaca because someone on TikTok said it's the next passive income wave. No. The things that quietly drain your money are usually boring. They're subtle. They seem harmless, almost responsible. They hide in your daily routine like a financial Trojan horse, except instead of soldiers jumping out, it's unnecessary fees, impulse purchases, and birthday party spending you forgot you agreed to. Today we're going to talk about those exact habits, the ones that slip through your self-control radar because they feel normal. And that's the point. The most dangerous money habits aren't the dramatic ones. They're the ones you don't even notice. So let's get into the first one. 1. Paying for convenience without noticing. You're paying for convenience. There's a kind of convenience that makes sense. Paying for an Uber when you're stranded in the rain? Yes. Paying for meal delivery because you've been awake for 19 hours and the only thing you're capable of preparing is emotional breakdown soup? Also, yes. But then there's the other type of convenience. The kind you don't realize you're paying for because the price shows up in microscopic increments. And the human brain, for some reason, treats small repeated charges the way your phone treats terms and conditions. It refuses to acknowledge them. If you buy lunch for $14 instead of bringing something from home, it's easy to think, I'm already hungry. It's not that bad. But the cost isn't $14. It's $14 times 20 hours workdays a month. That's $280 a month. Over a year, that's $360. That's not lunch money anymore. That's a vacation, a debt payoff, or half the reason your savings account is gasping for breath. The same thing happens with micro Uber rides. It's just 1.7 miles, whatever. Buying coffee instead of making it, or paying an extra fee because you didn't check out the cheaper option. Convenience is like financial sandpaper. Each swipe looks small, but give it a year and it's shaved off a chunk of your money. But what makes it dangerous is that convenience doesn't feel like spending. It feels like buying time. And that's fine, as long as you notice you're doing it. The moment you stop noticing, convenience becomes a leak. And leaks don't bankrupt you in a day. They bankrupt you silently, drip by drip, while you congratulate yourself for not buying anything big lately. 2. Using your bank account as your budget. A shockingly common money habit is budgeting with your eyes instead of your brain. It goes like this. You open your banking app, you see a number. You think, nice, I've still got plenty left. Then you buy something. But the number in your bank account is not a budget. It's a snapshot of your financial life before all the things you forgot you have to pay for. Rent, bills, subscriptions, debt payments, your cousin's wedding gift because they had the audacity to fall in love during your broke era. All of it is still lurking in the shadows. Using your account balance as your budget is like driving a car while only looking in the rearview mirror. It technically works for a few seconds, but then you hit something expensive. People who budget visually, if the number is big, I'm good, always overspend. Not because they're irresponsible, but because they haven't accounted for future commitments. Your balance doesn't show that your insurance bill is charging your card next week, or that your annual subscription to that app you forgot you had is going to ambush you like a financial ninja. A proper budget, any budget, shifts your mental model from what do I have right now to what do I actually get to spend? The difference between those two mindsets is often the difference between why don't I have any savings? And oh, that's why I finally do. 3. Saving. Money by buying things on sale. We need to talk about one of the most delusional financial sentences ever invented by the modern human mind. I saved $60 because it was on sale. No, you didn't. You didn't save $60. You spent $40. If you spend money, you didn't save money. That's it. That's the whole rule. But the reason this habit sticks is because your brain likes to feel clever. It likes the idea that you beat the system, that you saw a $100 price tag and said, not today, capitalism. And capitalism responded by offering you a 60% discount, and you responded by giving capitalism $40 and a round of applause. The real financial danger of sales isn't the discount itself. It's that discounts make you consider buying things you didn't want in the first place. A sale turns, "I'm not buying anything today," into, "Well, maybe I'll just browse." Browsing is the financial equivalent of just one more episode. You know exactly how this ends. Here's the truth. If you don't need it, a sale doesn't make it cheaper. It makes it expensive. Because the price you should be comparing it to isn't the original price. It's zero. 4. Treating small purchases as emotionally irrelevant. There's a reason people worry about buying a $1,200 laptop, but don't think twice about 3 $10 purchases a day. The laptop is visible. It's one big moment. You feel the financial impact. Your brain logs it as spending. Meanwhile, small purchases float under the radar like financial mosquitoes. Each bite seems harmless, but get enough of them, and you're left wondering why your bank account looks like it needs an IV drip. This habit becomes dangerous because small purchases aren't emotional purchases. They're automatic purchases. They require no internal debate. There's no guilt, no hesitation, no reflection. You've trained your brain to treat under $20 as pretend money. But pretend money is still real money. The average person massively underestimates their small daily spending, not because they're lying to themselves, but because they literally don't remember doing it. A $6 coffee doesn't register as an event. A $12 add-on at checkout doesn't feel like a transaction. A $17 impulse purchase on Amazon arrives in a box that makes you feel like you just received a gift from yourself, which somehow makes it even worse. The habit to break here isn't the small spending. It's the numbness to it. The moment you start noticing small purchases, you automatically start optimizing them. And the moment you optimize them, your money starts doing what it's supposed to do. Stay with you. 5. Confusing affordable monthly payments with "I can actually afford this." If you want to see psychological manipulation at its finest, go to any car dealership, furniture store, or electronics retailer and try to buy something. Before you even ask the price, someone will enthusiastically inform you, "It's only $149 a month." And they say it with the same tone someone uses when they tell you there's free snacks in the lobby. Monthly payments are designed to bypass your internal financial alarm system. If someone told you the couch costs $2,300, you'd think about it. But if they tell you it's $61 per month, your brain reacts the same way it reacts when someone says, "Hey, do you want to split a side of fries?" Small numbers bypass logic. Big numbers activate it. This applies to everything. Phones, cars, appliances, personal loans, buy now, pay later apps. All of them take a large future burden and disguise it as a small, friendly monthly pet you can easily feed. The problem is that monthly payments don't live alone. They stack. A car payment here, a phone financing plan there, a $27 a month subscription to something you forgot you signed up for. Eventually, you become the financial equivalent of someone who keeps adopting stray cats. All the additions seem small, but one day you wake up and you're outnumbered. The moment you shift your thinking from "can I afford the monthly payment" to "can I afford the total," your financial life upgrades instantly. Most purchasing regret comes from people who could afford the monthly payments, but absolutely could not afford the total. 6. Not having a no-spend default setting. One of the most underrated financial habits wealthy people have is a simple one. Their default answer to anything involving spending is no. Not because they're cheap, not because they hate fun, but because yes is something they give with intention, not by reflex. For most people, the default setting is the opposite. If the spending opportunity is small enough, convenient enough, or socially normal enough, the answer is basically an automatic yes. Your coworker asks if you want to join for drinks after work? Sure. A friend invites you to a birthday dinner at a restaurant where the prices look like they're printed in a foreign currency? Why not? You see something on social media you didn't know existed 2 minutes ago, but now suddenly need, add to cart. None of these are bad things individually. Life is meant to be enjoyed. But if all spending defaults to sure, your bank account pays for your social ease. The goal isn't to say no more, it's to pause more, to give your brain a 2-second delay before the automatic yes kicks in. Once you introduce a pause, spending becomes intentional. And intentional spending is almost always less expensive than reflexive spending. The habit that quietly makes people poor isn't overspending. It's unthinking spending. 7. Waiting until you have more money to start managing your money. This one is sneaky because it feels logical. It feels responsible. It feels like the financial equivalent of, I'll start working out once I have more energy, or I'll start reading more once I finish everything on Netflix. A ton of people avoid budgeting, saving, and planning because they think their income is too small to manage. They think financial organization is something you do after you get a raise, or after you get a better job, or after you stop feeling financially stressed. But here's the uncomfortable truth. People don't get rich and then get disciplined. People get disciplined and then they get rich. If you can't save $20 when you make very little, you won't magically start saving $200 when you make more. If you can't track your expenses at a smaller income, you won't suddenly become a budgeting machine at a higher one. The habits don't scale automatically. It's like saying, I'll practice swimming once I move into a house with a pool. No, you'll drown. The earlier you build financial habits, even tiny ones, the more natural they become. And once the habits exist, extra income doesn't evaporate. It compounds. Money magnifies habits. And if your habits are built on, I'll get serious later, then later never actually happens. 8. Letting social obligations override your financial limits. There is no faster way to go broke than trying to meet other people's expectations with your wallet. But it doesn't feel like overspending. It feels like being a good friend. It feels like being supportive. It feels like, well, I can't say no, they'll think I'm rude. It feels like the responsible adult thing to do is operate as if your financial limit is determined by what other people can afford, which is insane when you say it out loud, but perfectly normal when you're in the moment. Birthdays, weddings, trips, weekend plans, charity events, baby showers, drinks, dinners, group gifts. Let's split this evenly even though I ordered water and you ordered a Wagyu steak the size of my rent. All of these are opportunities for your financial boundaries to disintegrate. The habit that makes you poor is not generosity, it's financial hesitation. The inability to confidently say, I can't do that right now, or that doesn't fit my budget, or can we do something cheaper? Most people aren't judging you. They're just assuming you're okay with the plan because you never said otherwise. And if someone does judge you, that's actually an excellent piece of information about how much of your life you should be spending on them. A financially stable life is built on saying no to the things your bank account didn't agree to. 9. Keeping your lifestyle tied to your mood. Retail therapy sounds cute until you realize it's the financial version of borrowing happiness from your future self at a predatory interest rate. And it's not just retail therapy. Emotional spending has 1,000 faces. Stress spending, reward spending. I had a long day spending. I had a great day spending. I need to feel productive spending. I need a treat spending. The danger of tying your emotional weather to your wallet is that emotions are temporary, but purchases are permanent. And humans experience way more emotional turbulence than they do actual financial capacity. Here's the thing. Emotional spending doesn't feel like overspending. It feels like self-care. It feels like, hey, life is hard. Let me do this one nice thing for myself. But the one nice thing happens every time your emotions breathe. The worst part? Emotional spending teaches you that discomfort can be solved with consumption, which means you never build the emotional muscle of coping without buying something. And once spending becomes coping, you can't out-earn the habit. No income is high enough to outrun emotional buying. Financial stability isn't built on eliminating emotions. It's built on separating them from your wallet. 10. Letting your money sit idle. Because at least it's safe. This one feels responsible. It feels wise. It feels like the adult version of keeping your prized possessions in a special shoebox under your bed so you know exactly where they are. But money that sits still is money that shrinks. Inflation is a quiet thief. It doesn't steal your cash. It steals your purchasing power. One day, you have $10,000. A year later, you still have $10,000. But it buys what $9,500 used to. Wait a few years, and that $10,000 is basically a museum piece. A lot of people hold their money in checking accounts because investing feels intimidating, or risky, or something they'll do later. But doing nothing with your money is also a risk. A guaranteed one where the ending is decided for you. You don't need to be an investment expert. You don't need to predict the market. You don't need to read finance textbooks for fun unless you really want people to stop inviting you to parties. You just need to understand that letting your money sit is not playing it safe. It's choosing a guaranteed loss. Wealthy people don't grow wealth by being smarter. They grow wealth by refusing to let their money sleep.